Bucket a hole's a hole, you
Hey,
know.
love is love. How dare you? Yeah.
The world has wrought this upon themselves. So it is a well-known fact that
you're gay.
first of all, it's bisexual.
Oh, fair enough.
As the Navy would say, it's not gay if you're underway.
It's true. Yeah, just not gay at all. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm mainly gay for the two at this table.
Fair.
You know, which, as we've talked before, women get super insecure about solid bromance.
True.
But I digress. So, as we all know, as a good wingman, it is your responsibility as a good friend, really, to try to hook your buddy up if he's single, you know?
True.
That being said, if one of your buddy comes through with a solid takedown for you, I feel that you should be obligated to say your buddy's name upon completion of the orgasm.
Do you not do that all the time, though?
Yeah. Is it?
Like I say Daniel very loud every time I finish.
Yeah. 100%.
Because I feel like this
Even if it's just me.
I think only if it's just you.
Yeah, the pocket pussy Daniel edition that I released. You can find it on Amazon. It's actually selling really well.
It just has a beard at the end.
It's either a beard or a very hairy vagina.
That's
or
right.
Either one.
Like there's a difference.
Yeah, so because like it's also very well documented that you like to get in and get out, Mike. And,
I do, yes.
You know, because wouldn't that actually?
I'm all about mission completion. Yeah.
Wouldn't that actually expedite the process of kicking the girl out sooner if you did some awkward shit? Like,
If I yelled a dude's name out, yeah. You'd think, but I'm sure not.
Really?
Because they just want to stay. Yeah.
Groupies, man.
The worst. I'm not saying it.
AJ, what do you think?
Well, I mean, just offer him a sticker and tell him their Uber is here, and then you're
There
good.
it is. Great. Fantastic.
Do we need to beep that?
Welcome back, AJ.
We can beep that in post.
I said I wouldn't say it.
So out of the multiple times that I have gotten AJ laid, and I won't be too crazy with it. It's been like 4 or 5.
It seems a little bit of a high number, but
I mean, you've only had sex like 6 times, and today.
Jerking off in traffic does not mean you had sex.
But what if we preference that and we're like, all right,
Screaming
Don't
Daniel.
judge me, man.
Screaming Daniel.
yeah,
I would love to see the traffic camera picture of that.
the other drivers were very confused.
He's just throwing a batch out the window.
Yeah, that's why he's banned from Uber
We don't
carpool.
leave it in the car. That's gross.
But if I brought you a very attractive girl and she was all about it and she wanted the business, and I was like, all right, the only condition is you have to say Daniel when you orgasm. Would you do it?
I've been doing it, so I'd say yes.
Now, would you want me to say your full name or just AJ?
I feel like if you're
Alexander James Pfeffer, Lord of Cornwallis, third of his name,
that.
Lord Paladin of the High.
Yes.
I mean, if you're organizing through you're shooting ropes. You are shooting absolute ropes if you're saying that full name.
I feel like you'd need some product to make sure you
for
had
sure.
enough to get through the whole thing and still be going.
This orgasm brought to you by Johnson Soda Biscuits.
Johnson's Soda Biscuits.
Welcome to the Smoke Pit.
Hey.
So, you got myself, Dan Sharp, one of my, probably one of my favorite people that has ever existed.
Oh,
both
thanks,
fictional.
man.
I'm talking about you.
Oh.
Both fictional and non-fictional. AJ, he and I did our first 2 deployments together. We were in Afghan together. We were combat instructors together. Like this kid keeps following me around the world.
Yeah, he won't stop.
Yeah, just won't stop. We've been in like 10 countries together. He was on one of our previous episodes. So he just got back from a we'll keep it classified. We'll say a sex addict
Seminar, yeah.
inpatient facility
That he hosted and banged all the students.
Yeah,
It was not here, so at least
Oh,
it was
fair,
like a little
fair.
exotic flavor
That's
to
fair,
it.
yeah,
Sure.
you know, Dubai is really loose and fast with their rules.
Yeah.
Dubai is not loose and fast with rules. I got detained for a flashlight one time.
Fleshlight.
Not flashlight, flashlight.
Oh.
okay.
A
I have
flashlight,
it,
huh?
I have it with me. It was this big. It had no tactical, nothing at all.
Okay.
Actually, on the way out of the last place.
Before he gets going too quick, and also co-host Mike Sensi.
Hey, I'm also here. Go, AJ, go.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And our executive producer, EP Mike, to avoid confusion. So back to the time that you got detained with
for a
14
fleshlight.
kilos of Bam Bam.
If I could stay with 14 kilos of Bam Bam, I'd be having a much better time.
I would know all the princes.
No, I got detained once for a flashlight, and I had to sign a statement saying I would never again disrespect the UAE and their laws.
Wow.
Which I had to have the guy from the hotel. I'll give him this. the gentleman from the hotel who meets you at the gate to walk you through security stayed at security and made them keep the door open the whole time because they kept trying to close the door.
Okay.
And the guy was like, "No, you're gonna freak him out, and he's a military U.S. He's gonna kill all of you. Keep the door open.
He's gonna murder
I was
everybody."
like, "Good job, Ahmed. You're great. You're
No closed
it.
doors for Americans.
You're killing it."
That's right.
But
And then the second time,
oh yeah, I had a pair of binoculars, Steiners.
fucking peeping Tom.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. What a perv.
Like regular Steiners, no like high speed lasers.
Hey,
or
Steiner's doesn't fucking sponsor us.
Exactly.
All right, Chief?
Stop saying their name.
they're German.
dead to
They
me.
don't want your sponsorship. You don't want their sponsorship anyway.
Oh, that's funny. EP Mike, while we're talking about this, can you please look up and see how many people listen to us in Germany?
Yeah, exactly.
And then add a 0. He's like 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a fantastic episode. This is what, episode
4?
Season 2, episode 4. Wah, wah,
Wah,
wah.
wah. Yeah, my wings are here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had probably, I would frankly say, a much better cold opener.
Yeah, we did.
And you all probably listening can guess what happened.
Yeah, 100%.
EP Mike.
Yep, we involved him on an idea that was very simple, I feel, but just couldn't make it happen.
Bombed it.
Bombed it.
I have several friends of mine, and I've been on the show once before, and I'm on today, and I've had several friends of mine who listen to the show that are not involved in this group.
Aw.
And they frequently comment to me, well, why was this done, or why did this not happen? And I go, do you not listen to the podcast?
I will not defend my art.
like, what, do you not listen to the podcast? EP Mike's a dirtbag. Like, what do you expect from me? I'm not even there.
That's fair.
But
Fair.
But in the same breath, in spirit with our last episode, he did put out a really good suicide prevention video. Go check him out. We're bringing our guest from last episode, Lindsay, back on to give us kind of like a small segment. Thumbs up to her.
She's in the background.
She's in the back.
She's in the studio,
Yeah.
as we like to say.
And so she'll be giving us a little bit of an update, and because we got a lot of positive feedback from that.
Yeah, we did. We really did.
From both EP Mike's story or his post that he filmed here without permission.
He did. Yeah.
Whose seat was he sitting in?
It was
I think
mine.
it was yours.
It was mine. Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah.
Is it sticky?
It's absolutely sticky.
But it was for a good cause.
You wanted to know what it would feel like to be the good Mike.
Yeah. Aw.
So it was for a good cause.
I agree. No.
But that being said,
Yes.
I tried to get you to donate to a good cause, and you refused.
Me?
Yes, you.
Which cause?
One of our guests on the previous episodes, Leslie from Climb4, she's doing a raffle. And I suggested that you should raffle off a cream pie.
Yeah. Which is
two.
illegal. Cool.
No, it's not illegal. International waters, man. We're right here on the beach.
Hey, as long as money's not exchanged,
Yeah.
right? As long as cash isn't exchanged, it's all good.
So give our audience the same pitch you gave me, and we'll decide.
Okay. So if you don't hate babies and puppies, then perhaps maybe go out on a date with whoever, young lady or young man happens to, hold on. Did you mind if I finish this bit? Thank you. Good initiative.
Good
I
initiative.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
So whatever young lady or young gentleman wins the raffle for, that evening with you, we'll rent a boat. You go out to international waters and you do what you do.
Sure.
I mean, if you look at his Instagram right now, he's literally wearing a shirt that says Cream Pie King.
I am. Yeah. But I mean, only because it's form-fitting and it fits my lifestyle.
Only because it says everything about you.
Only because it should be my profile picture. Fair enough.
So I figured, just like let nature take its course. And you were like, absolutely not. And then you burped. And then
I did, as I
put
wanted
another
to,
wing
yeah.
in your mouth.
As I'm about to do.
Yeah, we're fully expecting their...
There's going to be a knock at the studio door here soon.
Oh, straight up integrity. It was not staged.
You couldn't have planned that more perfectly.
I love it.
That was
I love
exactly
it.
right.
Bring him in, whoever it is.
He's going to be like, why is there...
No, bring the guy in. Tell him to come to the camera.
Come be on... Yeah, please don't.
Please don't. Because Lindsay is looking all kinds of delicious, and she's going to see 4 dudes with all the lights and the camera and stuff, and he's like, let me get in on this.
He's going to make some assumptions that are incorrect.
That are only 50% correct.
Only 50% correct.
All right, I'm going to go off camera here and be unprofessional and get my wings, but keep talking. Go ahead.
I mean, we could just have EP Mike grab it. Or
okay,
have
yeah, that's
Lindsay
fine. Okay.
bring it to you.
Well, don't show any... You can take it out of the bag is what I'm saying. We're not sponsored by them either.
Who we are sponsored by, though, is fucking Combat Combover.
Wah, wah, wah.
So if you don't want your hair to look like a bag of shit like AJ, you want to go onto combatcombover.com and use our promo code Creampie to save some money.
I can't escape that word.
I've been overseas defending democracy for the last 90 days. We don't have time for haircuts when we're getting rocket attacks.
Oh, really?
So you can eat me.
Oh, so you're one of those guys now? I was defending your freedom, getting shot at, slaying bodies every day.
Didn't you just make a point earlier saying salt dogs don't talk about how they're salt dogs?
Blah, blah, blah.
What I say is that salt dogs don't talk. Real salt dogs don't talk about like all the combat where they blow people's heads off. They talk about the stupid shit they did.
Fair.
So, I was earlier discussing how there was this particular Hispanic guy that I work with that is an Army. He was a retired Army first sergeant.
Okay.
And whenever I call him an EEO Marine, they all think I mean because he's Hispanic. I really mean because he's Army. That's equal opportunity hire for those of you who don't know.
Trying to keep this off camera if I'm being awkward.
Yeah, fuck it.
No, they're not. They don't sponsor us. I don't want our demographic to think this is the kind of wings I eat because this is garbage wings.
This was just available.
It was
Exactly,
cheap.
yeah.
It was fast.
I was
just
drunk.
like anything else he does.
This is the only place that will deliver to the shithole we record in.
Right.
So we were driving down the road one day, and I've got him in the passenger seat, and there's like these Marine officers, but they were in some kind of pogue unit,
Yeah.
and he's got like the hair burst that comes out of the back of the A point if you
Yeah.
have like just the shit dirt, the turd haircut, and I started going off on this thing,
Yeah.
right? I was like, this piece of shit, you know, how dare you be in my Marine Corps and have that garbage ass haircut? And he looks at me and he goes, really? You got this whole thing going on out here? And I was like, I got out.
Yeah.
All right. If I was in, I'd uphold the standard. If I put my dress blues on, I would uphold the standard. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm out. I don't have to uphold the standard until Sunday when I get a haircut from a legitimate stylist.
Yeah.
For Australia, I was waiting for that.
Yeah, we're going to Australia soon.
We're going to Australia,
Yeah, so because like legitimately, like my second largest city of followers is Sydney, Australia.
so we're gonna go wreck it,
Yeah, we have
They'll
a
lose all your followers.
burn it to the ground,
Burn it to the
Who gives a
ground.
shit?
yeah, big shout out to Kirby, our local tour guide, because the Australian Army and the military, they don't exactly have the same presence. You know, like they don't have like the same like the same companies and the same, you know, like thank you for your service kind of shit. You know what I mean?
They don't have the tactical industry like we do.
Yeah. They're saying that like it's just not the same there. Like, granted, there are people who are very thankful for what goes on, but generally, like the kind of overarching theme is just like you shouldn't kill people because that's why their murder rate is so much lower than ours.
Well, right. Yeah.
Yeah. As for us, like, you know, you get your first video game at like 4 or 5. And it's just like Death Wagon 6000.
There's
Solid game.
There is no conclusive link between video game violence and real violence.
That's
We are
true.
violent as a people,
That is true.
Yeah.
and I will defend that to my death, sir.
Because we are a violent people.
Exactly. And if you debate me, I will kill you.
I will fucking kill you. Okay, so AJ's had some scruples
Yes.
with some things that have been said.
Oh.
You know,
It's not a lot. It's not a lot of times we have listeners come on and defend their side of the story. So this is big.
So we like to bring you to AJ's rebuttals.
Here we go.
The gayest music ever plays.
All right.
Yeah, can you, EP? Can you just take your iPod and whatever the first song that comes in on shuffle, can you just make that the music?
Really, it's Raining Men. That's what you want to use.
No. He likes like the old classical music.
Yeah.
You know, like he's super into like the when times were simpler.
Yeah.
You know?
like big band.
This song's just called Trumpet in Room.
Yeah.
Like what is it?
Back when you know people were men.
The Bugle Boy from Company B. That's his thing.
Dude, like no shit. Like he's played that song for me in his car.
I'm fairly certain he has sex to that. Well, no, that includes the idea that he has sex. So, I mean, you know, close enough.
You know, I'll be honest. We kind of dropped the ball on last week's blind date thing. We really didn't do much work on that. I'm
Not
sure
at all.
there's messages that we just didn't get
Probably
to.
2 that were like, oh, can guys be on it?
Yeah.
And that was it. That's all the follow-up we did.
Yeah, that was about it. So
Yeah.
we'll reattack that. You know.
That will happen. That's a good idea.
Yeah, but once again, huge dong. He eats pussy like a retard on bath salts.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like
Like he aims for the wrong area, or
no, just
Eat your foot.
Chinese alphabet on the clit.
like
Love it.
trying to gnaw his own arm off with the vagina.
Wow, I know you just got back in, but we actually like this guy. Okay, let's take about 25% off the top there, Squirrely Dan.
I like the guy, but you know, every time I walk in the room, it's like, I wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
No, we love him.
In fairness, all right, I'm gonna give EP Mike a little bit of a reprieve here.
Yeah.
I'll say that
very kind of you.
Oh, how very nice of you.
I have a guy that I work with, and I'm not gonna say his name. I won't say his last name. His name's Ryan, right? His first name's Ryan.
Shitty name.
And
I hate him.
He is a really nice guy. He's dealing with a lot of shit that's outside of his realm of understanding right now, but he's really pulling it together. He tries really hard. He puts a lot of work in. But he's from Michigan, so he's practically a cast member from Letterkenny. And every time I see him, I'm just like, "You're fucking spare parts, bud." Like every time I see him, and I'm like, "How are you now?" And he goes, "Good, and you?" I'm like,
Good.
"Not so bad."
Nice.
Like it's a whole thing, right? So, but I
in between rocket attacks.
in between rocket attacks. So I'd say, and he freaks out about that shit, and I'm just like. He's like, oh my God, we're going to still have a job. We're going to be dead. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, man, I've been through these things before. It's no big deal. We get bombed all the time. Just
All dog over here.
All the time.
And he's just like, what? And I was like, yeah, well, I'm still here. So, if I'm alive and I'm a big dingus, you imagine you guys will be fine. But,
Okay.
but you guys beep that out.
Time hack. Take a time hack.
Yeah.
Beep out that guy's name.
One job,
So,
Alexander.
yes, I'm terrible at that. Daniel. So Ryan is a good guy. He's a hard worker. He's getting into his groove, but like EP Mike, it just takes him a while to get there.
Sure.
I like just got back to the States, actually finally being able to get drunk again, AJ.
Me too. He's actually my favorite form of AJ.
Yeah, because he put way too much rum in his Coke and rum, and I warned him.
It was a lot of rum.
I'm like, this
and
is
I'm
the
an
sauce of
actual
my people.
alcoholic. Yeah, that was a lot of rum.
Like, I thought he was pouring a glass of water.
You know what? I didn't get this revenge body, so I can not drink.
I'm
and
not
ruin
gonna
it.
lie. When you walked in, you look heads and tails better than last time I saw you. You look
But
really
still
good.
sex shit.
I am a section, but I'm a
you can't
section
fix
on
that
the
fucking
inside
face.
instead of the outside now, right?
Yeah.
So
You look
back
good.
to
You look
our
good,
segment.
Right. Let's get back into the thing.
All right, so I'm going to tell a story, and that is going to be 100% accurate
Oh,
and
God,
true
here
to
we
what
go.
happened. And then AJ is going to desperately try to defend himself.
This is gonna be a story that, like most stories, the truth is a triple-edged sword, right? There's your side, their side, and the truth in the middle. So we'll see how close it
Much
gets.
like my penis, the truth points to the North Star.
Much like your penis, it's triple-edged.
Woof.
Wolf is exactly right.
If you're
Like a
not
revolutionary bayonet.
Yeah.
Gee, can I get a word in? Christ almighty. Oh my God.
Welcome to your own show, butt fuck.
This is your life. This is why we have the spit card.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just eating wings. AJ's getting drunk. The show's going to shit, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm the only professional.
You're the only
here.
professional in this room.
EP Mike's ruining the fucking cold intro. Like, I'm the only one who's mentioned a sponsor.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm wearing a sponsor shirt, so.
hey, you know what? Strikeforce Energy is legit.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I am not sponsored by Strikeforce Energy, and I will still say that when I
great,
have
yeah.
when I
Promo
have
code SmokePit.
There you go.
promo code SmokePit,
Yeah.
right? Because why buy anything without a discount?
Imagine AJ on
Strikeforce and rum.
Why do you think I'm this ridiculous? You guys got
It's from the rum, not
Strikeforce
Strikeforce.
coffee flavored stuff over there.
Yeah, they make coffee.
I snuck that into my rum. That's why I'm extra like guacamole.
Okay. So to protect the innocent, certain names and dates and locations will be changed.
Right.
So there it was. The year was 2000. I'm kidding. I was immediately.
I was about to deck your ass out of that seat too.
Oh, that's funny because that's what you did in the story.
Wah, wah, wah.
So we had just gotten to a place, and like I said, AJ and I have been all over the Marine Corps together, several different units, several different bases, and
Lots of bad decisions together.
oh
Yes.
yeah, many bad decisions. And I'm starting to think this episode was a bad
I
decision.
love it so much.
And so I had gotten there a little bit before he did, and I had rented a house. And the first day he gets, I think it was the first day, right?
It was the first day I've arrived. Yes.
Yeah, it was Halloween of a random year, and our neighbor, who I'll describe in more detail later, invited us to a Halloween party, and AJ was like, "Well, I got these scrubs in from the EMT course, so like
Okay.
we'll just go as like doctors." And like legitimately, all the sleuths there were like, "Oh my god, you guys are real doctors!"
I love it.
And I'm like, 100%, like
Yeah,
this high and
that's right,
tight,
yeah.
you know.
Absolutely,
Right, yeah.
yes. This stethoscope is not a prop,
Yeah.
madam.
Dr. Teffelhunden.
Let me check out your thoracic cavity.
Ooh, from the inside. Yeah, I have seen AJ's penis on several occasions,
Yeah.
both in action and out, and I will say, without jest, Boys packing.
Nice, very nice.
I'm proportionate for my size.
Yeah.
I do want to say though, it's a common theme on the show. You shout out all your boys' penises except mine. I just want to throw it out there.
Well, I said it was green like 2 episodes
I
ago.
did. That was
the
my
entire
fault. Yeah,
opener
that's
was
true.
dedicated
That's
to
fine.
it.
Well,
I think the problem there is that you haven't had sex in front of us yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
EP
being-
as soon as this episode's over.
I'm just saying there's a dine and dash number somewhere, right? Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, my phone's dead. That's crazy.
So we get to the party, and probably one of the most attractive mixed girls I've ever seen in my life shows up, and she's looking all kinds of delicious, and I'm like, I need to get with this, right? So I go over there, and I spit my hardest game, and she's like, yeah, whatever. What's up with your tall boy over there? And I look over, and he's just like already hammer drunk, like dancing like one of those used car sales lot, like
Wacky wavle,
Yeah.
inflatable tube man?
yeah, the
that was
inflatable
me.
tube
No
man.
other way to dance.
And so she goes over there and she starts macking on him, and despite being hammer drunk, he's putting down game. He likes to use big words.
Because
and-
I was hammer drunk. I was speaking my good game.
yeah, the awkwardness, the barrier was gone.
I'm a mess when I'm sober.
Yeah, there was a time in Ireland where he literally river danced till 5 a.m.
I love it.
It was one of the worst nights of my life.
No, you know what? Let me tell you something. First of all,
That's a different rebuttal,
Always
sir.
go- always
Stick
goes
with
off the
what-
rails.
wait,
Always.
just real quick. There's 2 quotes I remember that I was writing down stuff in a notebook the whole trip. The one quote I remember specifically from you is we were in a club in Ireland that had been suggested to us by the 20-year-old guy who sat behind the counter at the hostel. And we went to this place. It was 10 o'clock at night before anybody showed
so
up.
much detail. Like, just get to
Right,
it.
I'm getting to it.
Why does he have to be 20? Why does he have to be at a hostel? Just somebody.
Anyway, so this guy did the thing. We went to the place, and we were in there, and you were doing your very ethnic dancing, and
We'll call it that, ethnic
right.
dancing.
And there was a bunch of Irish guys like
Racist.
a bunch of Irish guys surrounded him. And they're like, "Yeah, go ahead, mate." And he's like, "I'm not dancing for you." Like, doesn't stop. He just waves people out of the way. He's like, "I'm not dancing for you. Get the fuck out of the way." And then the immediate thing you said after the fact was like, "This place is a cauldron of farts."
A cauldron of farts. As I am one to say.
I had that written down, time and date stamped. You said that.
That's fantastic.
And the particular crew you were talking to was like a bachelorette party.
Yeah.
And I walked up, they had twigs in their hair, and I was like, "Hey, what's with the Midsummer Night's Dream theme?" And they were like, "You're the first one that's got that." I was like,
nice.
"They wrote that shit here. How is it that I'm coming up with that
I
shit?"
played an extra Midsummer's Night Dream in high school.
Oh, nice.
I wasn't good enough to be the lead.
Well, no.
I was one of the leads, but I very vaguely remember that.
Anyways.
yeah.
So she's over there, and like he is like T-minus 10 seconds away from getting someone pregnant. Then her boyfriend shows up.
Oh, whack.
Because women are whores.
They're the worst.
The worst. And so, like, all right. And then, so these other 2 girls show up, and like my self-confidence was a little down because getting shot down by the hottest girl I'd ever seen in my life at that point in time. Until that point in time.
Usually no bueno, yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to go for the ugly one. But she wasn't really ugly, but compared to like her younger sister.
She was like a fair 7, but the sister was like a solid 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I walked over there, and I'm like talking to her, and she's like, "What are you doing? Go talk to my sister. Like she clearly likes you." And I was like, "Don't mind if I do," but I digress. Anyways, some shit happened. The big fight broke out, and the party pretty much got scuttled.
Yeah.
And so there we were. Neither one of us were taking anyone home, and the host of the party comes over, and now. To say this with all humbleness, because there's girls out there that would literally hop on a flight right now to come out to see me, and there's other girls out there that think I'm gross. There are some girls like
Everybody has different tastes.
I'm not going to say who,
about
but
to-
somebody in this room literally has a girl flying to see them right now.
I had a joke prepared, but the timing of me trying not to joke ruined it completely. I'm so unprofessional, and I apologize. Continue.
Yeah, so like there's some people out there that would spend their life saving to eat my asshole. Other people think I'm a bridge troll. So I say that to put context into.
It's fair to everybody, though. I mean, honestly.
Covered literally everybody on
Yeah,
Earth.
exactly. So now that I've said that, with all sincerity, I would like to say about this young lady, she was the biggest, fattest, ugliest, nasty, gap-toothed trailer park yeti, receding hairline, Fu Manchu-looking motherfucker that smelled of hot Cheetos and regret.
So Miss Indiana.
You remember Men in Black where the dude had like the cockroach in his body?
Right.
That's what this girl looked like.
Ooh.
Which is kind of funny because that's the guy who played Private Pile in Full Metal Jacket. Vincent
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
fantastic
right.
Kingpin.
Same guy, yeah.
But no, not Kingpin, not Full Metal Jacket, Men in Black.
Yeah.
This with long hair is what walked out. AJ is like, it's my birthday. And so he's looking over at her, she's looking over at him, a little bit of smiling, a little bit of body action going on, and I was like, brother, man, no.
Yeah.
I was like, you're a young man. Like, you don't need this in your
You
life.
have your whole life ahead of you. Yeah.
Your whole life ahead of you. And he's just like, no, like it's my birthday. Just let me be. I'm like, all right. Like, at a certain point in time, if your boy's like, hey, step off,
Yeah,
you gotta
sure,
step off. Like,
sure.
that's part of being a good wingman, is knowing when to step off and not to, cock block a situation. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna go next door. I'm there if you need me. Just holler, right? So I fuck off. At this point, I'm actually gonna let AJ take over.
Nice.
And tell what happened next, and then I'll interject with truths and facts.
Okay, so
Into Mike.
Into the mic.
to begin with,
Epilogue.
while I will not state that the young lady was in any way, how shall I say this?
A human.
Most likely human. I was exactly going to say that too. I will
I'm
say
done eating. My jokes are gone.
for those of you who listen to the podcast, she was better than Big Breezy, so at least that's something.
That is a bold-faced lie.
Marginally better, right? Like, just between like War Factor 9 and War Factor 9.5. Like, there's
No one is a nerd enough to know what that is.
plenty of people that
You know
are
what
our
that is?
age.
Yeah.
Plenty-
I mean, our demographic definitely know what that
Our
is.
demographic knows that
100%.
because we grew up in the late 80s.
I'm sorry. Like, I
early
spend
90s,
most of my time just contemplating suicide in my room.
right,
Not
some
going
of,
out.
Some of us have other
Yeah, being a
pursuits.
nerd. Yeah.
Anyway, so she was a solid maybe like 3.5.
-3.
3.5, right?
Multiplied by 0.
Now, keep in mind, right? You can't say everybody who's not gorgeous is like
she was a
fucking
3,
zero.
and he was hammered on his birthday. Let that sink in.
Fair
Right.
enough.
She was.
We've
she
all
was
been
at,
there,
like a
yeah.
3.5 at best, and 0.5 of that was probably the
Put
booze.
Stalin.
Be that as it may, yes, it was my birthday, and a 3.5 was better than a nothing. Right. I was in a very low point in my life. I
Sure.
said, "Fuck it, why not?" Right. So I was like,
I'm gonna get my willy wet.
Right. Yeah.
I would never call him that. That's terrible. What human being?
He
would
actually
do that to
legitimately
themselves?
refers to it as the Sword of Charlemagne, and he actually has a legit replica of the Sword of Charlemagne in his room.
Wow.
And I've seen him naked with a full erection while practicing Conan the Barbarian moves with the actual sword, the Sword of Charlemagne, which, by the way, he stabbed through the roof of a car, but we'll get to that later.
You know, I was about to bring that up and say that's a different story, but yes.
Jesus.
So I've legitimately waist up naked, right? Waist down combat stuff. Put a sword through the roof of a car. So I think that earns me the cool points that this story will burn. So
Probably not, but go
probably
ahead.
not. But we'll go ahead. So anyway, I decide to delve into the bad decision pond, and I take this girl back to her room in her house, and naked stuff happens. There's no penetration happens at all at this point.
I did not have
sex,
sexual
exactly,
relations
yeah.
with this
No,
woman.
that's the thing. At least if sexual relations had happened, there'd been like some positive benefit to the story.
At least you could say you caught a body.
Right,
Yeah.
I caught something. Right,
Still
that
fun. Still smashed. Yeah.
Right, still smashed.
Yeah.
Never happened. The problem was that at some point I'm laying naked on my back on the bed, and she's sitting naked on my waist.
And
As you were one to do.
Gargantuan the Butter Beast.
Gargantua the Butter Beast is looking down upon me, and she,
with their hordes of minions and warlocks poised for battle.
there weren't other people in the room. Calm down.
No, they were in the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the Shadow Realm wasn't in her room.
It's because you couldn't see beyond her.
Well, I mean, there was a full eclipse. It was Halloween, so I assumed it was part of that. So, be that as it may.
It was-
Can I finish?
This is what
Damn.
happens I can't finish the story with this
Let me
guy.
get
Yeah,
to this
every
part.
fucking time.
So, let me look direct to camera for this.
I love it.
So, I'm laying on my back. She's sitting on top of me. She's sitting straight up. And at some point, she looks down and she says, "I want you to hit me." And I said, "I'm sorry, what?" Like, incredulous. I thought maybe, I've been blown up a lot. I've been shot, stabbed, kicked off a building, blown up. At this point, I'm just like, maybe, like, she's speaking Klingon. I didn't hear her, right? So she says, "I want you to punch me." And I said, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" like there's a meme that's only one of the few memes that Pop Smoke didn't come up with that I love, and it's like this girl's like, "I have a list of things that I want you to do to me," and I'm the guy that says, Wait, do you know how many felonies that is? like I have a hard, fast line. Like, I'm into some weird shit, but
Right.
my line is anything that when the cops show up, I'm going to have to explain without
Yeah.
using the word violence.
That's fair.
Involved.
That's fair.
So I said, she's like, I want you to hit me. I want you to punch me in the face. And I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? So then she starts hammer fist rains down just upon my face. It's like I put my arms up to defend my head, and it's like someone's throwing hams down.
That's
at
not
my
fair
face.
because she's way over your weight limit. Like she's out of your weight class.
Yes,
your
but
weight
her
class.
fists are slow and ineffectual is the problem, right?
There's
Job
not
of
a
the
lot
Hutt.
There's not a lot of muscle mass there.
There's no efficiency pushing those fists down, so it's just like gravity's bringing them, right? And 1.0 G's I can handle, so my fists are up, my arms are up blocking, just coming to my face.
Yeah, like they would not stop the match.
They would have stopped it.
They
yeah.
would not have stopped the
Yeah.
match.
He's
They're
still
like,
intelligently defending
they're
himself.
like, he's got a family, but I want to see where this goes. So they just let that shit happen.
And both of you are naked at this point.
Both of us are naked, right?
Right. So like I'm imagining like 6 titties flapping everywhere.
Yeah, it's just nothing but skin.
No, you know what?
flapping,
That would have made it better if it had been like the 3-titty chick from like what is it, Total Recall?
Recall?
Yeah.
That would have made the whole situation better, but it wasn't.
She was vaguely hot though. Yeah.
This was
Honestly,
a
I
terrible
could say-
decision that had terrible consequences.
I don't think in the last 10 years I've had sex with a girl old enough to know what Total Recall was.
Really?
I don't think
That
ever
movie
you've
came
had
out
sex
before
with.
I was born.
No, I get that, but to know what it is, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay, if you're like, hey, you know the movie with the girl with the 3 tits?
Wait,
Well,
there was,
who- first
there
of all,
was
who
the
talks like
Colin
that?
Farrell version. Did that one?
Yeah,
have,
there was. Yeah.
But did that one have the 3-titted girl in it?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't.
didn't
I
watch
think.
it.
I don't think
I think
so.
for the purpose of feminism, I'm gonna cut that one.
That's
out.
true. Yeah. It's not
Be that as it may.
Yeah. Okay. Get back to your story. Yeah.
So the hammer fists are raining down, and I'm just like blocking my head, and I'm saying, okay, you need to quit now. You need to stop now. You need to stop now. And as we all know, right, use of deadly force requires 3 verbal warnings, at least in the state of Virginia. So the hammer fists are coming down. We weren't in the state of Virginia at the time, but regardless, I'm gonna
Or maybe we were.
I'm gonna go with the rules I know.
Alright.
So the hammer fists are coming down. I give her perfectly the amount of verbal warnings required before use of physical violence.
Sure.
So I use what little McNap is useful to
As an MAA, I'm insulted.
so I flip her
I didn't
over.
invent the fucking program.
I hit her with a kick flip, which is, I know, a skating term for millennials or whatever, but I hit her with this thing that flips her over.
I just imagine like Tony Hawk on top of one of those like cement like things
Yes.
they put in for sewer. They're like
Yes,
10 feet tall.
exactly
Trying to
like
kickflip that.
Exactly like that, but I pulled it off. So she turns over, and now I have her. I'm laying on my back, and she's laying on her back on top of me. I get my hooks in, right, and I put her in a figure 4. I got her locked up.
Right.
Wait, is that how your figure 4 looks?
Well, I don't have a neck in there, so it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
But
But
you know,
like on bicep.
right. I have the parts of my arm around her neck. I have the elbow pointed directly towards her.
I'm saying like your hand should be on your butt. You were over here like you're fondling someone else's balls while
Well,
they're watching.
she was big, it's hard to
to be
get
fair,
that.
she got a big
To
neck.
be
Yeah,
fair.
to be fair.
To be
yeah.
fair. So I have my
Choking out a horse.
elbow pointed. I have my elbow pointed into her sternum, as is correct for the technique.
That's correct.
I'm grabbing onto my arm. I've got my locking arm behind her head, right, and I've locked in. I haven't squeezed yet though, and I say, "You need to stop. Like this is going to only end in tears. You need to stop now."
This has
And-
gone on long enough.
and
This
so-
is only gonna end in tears.
I love it. I love it.
The slogan.
That is my
over Mike's
epitaph,
head.
sir. That is my epitaph. Is this will only end in tears.
Generally, has Mike crying.
Yeah, that's right.
So the fists are still raining down again, still being ineffectual because now they're coming from.
She's like punching him back.
Yeah.
Right, she's trying to like swing back and hit my head from behind her. And this is a fight she's not prepared for. So
think
I've got her in
anybody
figure
was.
4, and she won't stop. So finally, I'm saying, you know what? Fuck it. I got to do what I got to do. I enact the figure 4. I crunch down with the muscles.
Solid blood choke. Yeah.
Right, solid blood choke.
Yeah.
And the difference between blood choke and an air choke. Blood choke only takes 2 to 8 seconds. Right.
Traditionally.
And you're cutting off the carotid artery.
Most of our listeners are aware. Get on with it.
Right. I'm saying for those of your listeners,
We
who
do
are-
have a lot of young like ROTC listeners. Like
Right,
a lot,
exactly.
A lot.
for the ROTC kids.
And if any of the young ROTC ladies out there are interested in a blood choke, get at your boy.
AJ, not us.
DM me for them blood choke details. for any ladies who are into choking, this is the way to do it safely.
There you go.
So I blood choke her, right? So I'm cutting off the blood to her carotid artery. She goes unconscious, out like a light bulb, right?
Out like
now,
a light.
at this point, I'm holding her like this, right? And she's laying naked on top of me with her back towards me. And I have to get her off of me, but the bed's not wide enough. So if I lean to the side, she's going to fall off the bed. And her head is going to crack the side table on the way down. So I say, well, I don't want that to happen, right? I'm trying to cause the minimal amount of damage possible to enact my escape. So I ease her to the ground, right? I place her in the left lateral recumbent position, for those of you who are medically trained.
Fair.
I put her on her left side. I pull her knees up to her chest. I check Right?
Full service.
I check in front of her face for breathing. I get breath on my hands. I'm like, all right, roger that.
Albeit hot meth breath, but go on.
Hey,
If this is the aftercare you get after you rain ham hock fist down on his face,
Absolutely.
imagine the aftercare you get when you curl his toes.
Exactly.
I'm just saying the Marine Corps standard is leave things better than you found them. So I was
True.
trying to make sure I was doing
And do more with less, as you
do
were
more
one
with
to
less.
do. Yeah, that's right.
Right?
But in
Do-
this
That was a
case-
penis
or,
joke.
or in her case, do less with more.
Well,
right?
yeah,
So-
with too much, yeah.
So I ease her to the deck, right? I place her in the left lateral recumbent position. I put her knees up to her chest. I
Too
check-
many times, yeah.
Right? I was just thinking that. Pull her knees up to her chest, check her breath. Her breath is fine.
Yep.
She will regain consciousness within 15 seconds, full cognitive function in 30. So I need to get the fuck out of there, is what I'm thinking.
Right, of course.
So I grab my scrubs and my boots off the ground. I got my stethoscope. I fling it around my neck, right? And I run from the house. I go
the
straight to the
horniest
backyard
doctor.
because that's the direction I know how to go because
Yep.
that's how we entered the house in the first place. I throw my scrub pants on the fence, leap the fence in a very uncoordinated move.
Twig and berries,
Yeah,
like flailing.
absolutely.
Just flap it in the breeze.
in the moonlight, yeah.
Right, but that's why I pulled the scrubs down so I wouldn't catch myself on the
Fair.
thing.
Smart.
I just
Right.
like to think of like there was like some full moon right on his butthole.
Yeah.
Like as he's going over the fence.
100% there had to be,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he's 6'3", ladies.
And guys,
Yeah, get at your boy.
Yeah.
And so I like think like as he like vaulted his legs over, at some point in time he winked back there, you know?
Oh, I did. I got the ding as I was doing it.
Yes. Yes.
you dinglings,
Yeah.
you dinglings.
Well, just because the finger guns, I don't have enough opportunity to use the ding.
You need to fucking reevaluate your
I
life,
would like to
yeah.
think that he clicked his heels on his way over too.
I'm not that coordinated.
Plus that bitch used shit face.
I was absolutely trashed. So I came over the fence, right? I collected my garment from off the fence so as not to leave evidence. I run back inside. And at this point, Daniel is still sitting in the house awake on the sofa. And I come in and I'm completely naked, head to toe. And I've got like this pile of scrubs and boots held in front of my junk. And he goes, so, how'd it go?
As
I
he's
went-
one to do, yeah.
Look at me. How do you think it went? Right. And so he was like, fair enough. Fair enough. And I was like, I'm going to bed now. And I just face down on the sofa with, I did pull my pants back on for, propriety's
Right,
sake.
of course.
Pulled my scrub pants back on, tied them at the waist, passed on face down on the sofa.
So the next morning we hear bam, 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 bam on the door. And I'm like, well, my boy showed up fucking like naked, sweaty, and covered in fucking welts.
Right.
And like
Only the
clearly,
forearms, though.
like yeah, I feel like a few got
I feel she landed a few for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I mean, I'm not saying like you had like a fucking knot on your
Oh,
face. or
none in the
anything.
face. She didn't hit the face at all. This is natural. Bro.
Why are you so defensive?
I'm just saying, I'm Welsh, all right? This happened by genetics. This isn't the fault of some person.
But he had clearly been in a scrap of some sort
Right.
with either a very large woman or a wild animal.
Mischief
Or
was
or
had.
truck of some sort. Right, of some variety.
And so I hear bam, bam, bam on the door, and I'm like, oh fuck, like this is the girl's brother
Yeah.
or like boyfriend, because most women are hooers.
Yeah, big facts, big facts.
Which to be, I will say it
Yeah, I was about to
again.
say, God.
Yeah. In all actuality, integrity, she did have a boyfriend that we found out about later.
Yeah.
Two girls that night tried to get with AJ that had boyfriends.
Yeah, and the chick's boyfriend was like my height, but like bald, it's like it was a skinhead.
Oh.
And just bulging ass muscles.
Nope, don't
Yeah.
like it. Scared.
I was like,
All these tattoos.
Yep.
Nice guy though.
I mean, he was a nice guy. Like I could have,
super nice.
I'm not saying I could
Probably
have
would have
taken
let you
him.
bang his girlfriend.
I'm not saying I could have taken him. It would have been an even fight. He might have won. I might have won. Player bottles would have been smashed over
That's how
people's
fights go,
heads.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have came
Right.
with a crowbar and hit somebody's kneecap.
But it would
Somebody
not
get
have
kneecap.
been.
It
You
might
would
have
not
been
have been
my
able to call that fight at the beginning. Like it would have been even match. He
All
would
right, so
have.
can I get back to what the fuck I was saying?
Please go
Okay,
ahead.
AJ?
Yes.
Oh man.
When you listen to this later, you're gonna be like, "Oh man,
I'm not even that
so
drunk right now.
hungover."
Yeah.
You drank all of our rum.
I drink all of it. There's 2 more bottles over there.
Okay, you drank most of the rum.
The only reason I haven't had EP make me another drink is because he dropped the ball. So
He doesn't rate.
there's that too.
Okay. So,
Anyway.
bam, bam, bam. I'm like, oh, fuck. It's this girl's brother or friend or whoever the case is. Like, shit's about to go down. So, I grab my fucking shotgun and I run out in my fucking boxer briefs. Nothing else.
Tidy whiteys,
I
get it
haven't
right.
worn whitey tighty since boot camp. Like, you get shit stains on them. It's so
Yeah,
embarrassing.
but the problem is that there's laundry day,
Yeah.
and you were a single Marine at the time, so you just didn't do laundry as often as whatever. Anyway, he comes screaming out of his room, right, in tidy whities and a shotgun.
Yeah.
Heavily modified Remington M870.
Nice.
Right? Heavily
I
modified.
actually have it in my bedroom right now.
As he comes screaming out of the room, and he's like, "Shh, what the fuck's going on?" His hair is just like complete ridiculous, like bird's nest going on.
As someone when Whitey Tiny's wielding a shotgun would have.
Right?
Yeah,
He's got this
absolutely,
look
yeah.
on his face like, you're making my Agent Orange act up, right? Like some shit's about to happen.
All I know that could it be that once again AJ trying to fuck a fat girl has put us all in mortal danger.
Hey, I resemble that remark, sir.
You absolutely resemble it, yes.
Hey,
Once again, AJ's
well, I'm the least.
insatiable lust
I'm
has
the
put
least-
us in mortal danger.
I'm the least shallow person in this entire room, minus probably
Yeah,
Lindsay.
because you will fuck anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Well,
you walked into that one, didn't you?
I will not fuck
Yeah, you
anything.
big dumb idiot.
Right? I will not, sir. Right? I'm very selective. I'm just not selective based on external appearance because we're all going to be 80 one day and our nuts will be in our socks. I select from personality.
we were on a road trip. And
Oh god, another
Here we
story.
I think it's like this.
This is the whole episode is just shitting on me.
I'm just gonna
No,
sit here
no,
and
see,
eat
like,
a whole
it goes
basket
downhill.
of wings.
Like, he's over there eating fucking hot wings, being unprofessional. I'm shitting on you. You're shitting on EP Mike. EP Mike shitting on himself.
What's that? What's it called when like people eat stuff into the mic that people are super into? You know what I'm talking about?
ASMR.
ASMR. All right, see if our listeners like.
Yeah,
it.
you know who's into that? Weird Asian people.
We have listeners like that.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let me see how it goes.
I'm now fully erect.
There's juice dripping down his chin.
That's why I'm fully erect.
And he's gagging.
I'm gagging.
You gotta gag on it to make him feel like a man, like he's wrecking your shit.
How'd that sound? Sound good?
So
Yeah.
we were stopping over in St. Louis on a road trip because he and I drove across the country.
Bruh.
And so he shows me this picture of this girl from Plenty of Fish, and it is all like tightly cropped, like downward angle
So
selfies,
fat.
and like cute face, right?
So
and,
fat.
And I'm just like, bro, like this girl's gonna be 600 pounds.
That's
So-
the problem. In the picture, she was not fat at all.
yeah, of like that tight headshots.
Exactly. Yeah.
That
Fat.
I was new to internet dating at the time. I
Oh,
didn't
no,
realize
no,
that
no.
women would do the whole, let me stretch my neck out and take
Yeah.
the picture from way up here. I
From
didn't
orbit.
get that whole
And so I was like, bro, she's gonna be massive. And he's just like, no, man. She said she's not like skinny like a model. But I'm like, that's what I say.
But she's
when
also
I'm,
not
when I'm
skinny
like
like a-
briefing girls before they meet me.
She's
I'm
not
like,
skinny like a healthy adult either.
yeah. I'm like, look, as a chubby person, like this is what you say to like make sure the other person's cool with fucking chubby, right? So, and I'm trying to like brief him on this, right? He's like, no, but like her brain's just so attractive. I could just make love to her brain. I'd be happy.
Wow.
I don't remember saying any of that,
weirdo.
but
yeah.
We were really
cool.
shithoused in Denver and
Yeah.
almost killed us in the Rocky Mountains, but that's another episode.
That was their poor marketing requirements, okay? I had nothing to do with that.
So we get into St. Louis, and I had a picture of this, but he swore me to secrecy, so I can't show this to anybody.
It wasn't a swear to secrecy. It was a deal that we made that I said I would do you a favor if you would delete it. And you said, well, do me the favor first. And I did. And then you deleted it. And then for years you told me you had it on the cloud anyway.
Well, I mean, I was deleted from. I didn't know how the cloud works.
Nobody knows how the cloud works.
Yeah, seriously, there's
Spit
a
everywhere.
whole movie about this. And so this girl comes thundering in,
Nice.
and like I look over and like same face, right?
Yeah.
Massive girth, which I'm like, all right, well, you know, she could still be a beautiful person, right?
In fairness, she was just like gargantuan.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
No.
I've seen Volkswagens that took up less parking space.
And so I was just like, you know what, not to be that shitty of a person. Like, if she makes my boy happy, especially if it's just for the evening that
Sure.
we're in town, then so be it, right? So I get to talking to her, and she's actually very nice. And she's very well spoken.
He could barely contain his giggles while
I
he had
love
the
it so
bartender
much,
take
yeah.
a picture of us all together.
That's awesome.
See? That's
I
it.
love it.
That's the giggle he uses.
I assume he had to do the long ways.
That giggle is the one that he gets anytime he can shit on me.
100%.
Right? That's his
Yeah.
specific. AJ hurt himself or did something stupid
Yeah,
giggle.
I have brain damage. And I think there's like a certain part of my brain that is like linked to our many adventures and memories. That whenever he gets hurt, it cripples me with laughter.
Good.
Like he was walking through the kitchen, and I was like, "Hey man, like be careful with those grates from your stove." He was like, "Oh, they'll be fine. I know everything." And then like literally 2 seconds later, he punted it so hard that he cartwheeled through the kitchen, and I laughed, cried for fucking 20 minutes.
That's a dramatic overreaction. imagine. Tomorrow was not that big of a deal.
No, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like, oh, he hurt himself. Like, I have like video evidence, like him like grinding, like shit in his fucking sink, and I'm like, you're gonna hurt yourself. He's like, oh, I'll be fine. And then 2 seconds later, he's like, oh, god damn it, motherfucker, bitch, shit ass. And much like with the girl that he had to choke out, like I tried warning him. Does he ever listen to me? No.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
Anyway, I digress humbly.
Yeah. So.
This whole episode is turning your shit.
I love
on
it
me.
so much.
But go ahead.
And so I open the door. I have my shotgun, like, cause I'm ready to get dirty, right?
Right.
And
We're talking about the original girl from Halloween.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Because that's all I wanted to say was I tried to tell you this girl was going to be a small moon.
Yeah.
And you didn't want to believe me.
Missed opportunity, right? The last time you told the story about Big Breezy, which didn't say, that's no moon. I think that's been in my head for 6 hours now. Right. Anyway, go ahead.
And so she's like, she says something to the effect of like, you two homos want to get breakfast? And then she comes like pushing past her way in. Like I said, bounced right off the nightstand. And so like, yeah, he's trying to be gentlemanly for her parents and stuff. No, he spiked that bitch's head off the fucking nightstand. Like, never do that shit again. You know
Allegedly.
Papa Bear don't play no shit.
Papa Bear don't play no shit. And I'll tell you what else Papa Bear don't do is leave any evidence for the police. Right? Whatever happened between the time I left her in a secured position of medical well-being till the time that she regained consciousness and behaved in whatever erratic way that she probably
And see, this is what I've had to deal with for like the last 14 years.
Yeah. But would you have it any other way?
Honestly, yes. I would like to not to have to come to the store with a shotgun to defend our home.
I'm sorry. How many times have I saved you from yourself and from outside situations? Remember we took Castro to Cuba and he almost got us like locked up by the
Can you
gulag?
beep that name? Because he is a little rat fuck to sue.
Terrible person. But I didn't say his first name.
But still. Anyways, so she pushed past me and she's like, you two homos want breakfast? And I'm like, you can't be banging on the door like that. Like,
You can't be that big and still be hungry.
And so then she basically started to like insult us and our service by glorifying the people that she knew. Yep. Like, oh, well, the people I know are fucking 10 times more badass than you, and they don't scare me. And I'm like, they're not here right now.
Right. Yeah.
And I am holding this shotgun, and I'm very proficient with it.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be extremely fucking careful because, like, he came in a hot mess last night. She looks like she'd just been in a fight. And now she has just illegally entered into my home. Granted, all I had was double-aught buck. I probably needed some, like, drill-tip fucking slug to penetrate the hide.
Some of those British fin-stabilized warhead rounds.
The salvo rounds.
Yeah.
And, maybe a 10-gauge.
Yeah.
Maybe a harpoon gun.
So then we got breakfast.
Nice. What'd you have?
I think I had a French toast.
I'm waiting for the lie.
Yeah.
And I believe AJ had a Monte Cristo.
You know what? Yes, we went to that. We went to the Hawaiian place. That was up the street. And that's
Okay.
exactly what we had.
Exactly.
Nice.
Like I said, 100% accurate.
Just because you remember that one particular detail doesn't make the rest of them accurate. All right.
All right, what have I lied about?
I'm just saying, even Satan adds truth into his lies to make them more believable.
Oof. Big hard wolf.
Yeah.
Big hard wolf.
So I'd like to mercifully bring this segment of AJ's rebuttals to
Thank
an
God
end.
it's only been the whole episode thus far.
Stop the damn match. AJ's got a family. Okay.
Wait, what's the one he likes to do?
Yeah, when I'm talking about like how somebody got lit up.
Shut up, yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's an accurate way, and I totally stole it from the a version of it from the British Office show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was talking about or the guy was talking about like a sniper on the thing, and he kind of like did the thing where he like put his hand down and like the bullet hit the back of his head and it came out his brain.
Okay.
But then I just made it cool.
Right. As you are one to do.
Well, it's like America
I
does.
do.
You take
I
British
do,
and-
yeah.
I'm incredibly humble.
Yeah.
So speaking of humbling things, we have gotten so much positive feedback from the last episode, which was kind of more suicide prevention focused. We've gotten tons of messages. We even had, on occasion will have people come up to us.
It's true.
That recognize us in various places, which is always really cool if you're like out with a girl or something, and like somebody recognizes you.
I've never had a cool guy moment like that yet, though. Like if I'm a date and they're like, "Aren't you so and so?" I'm like, "Fuck off! Can't you say I'm busy?" I've never been able to do that yet.
You're too busy operating though for that stuff, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you want to know
operating like Chaplin stuff?
There you go. Yes, thank you.
So for my local
Easy,
business,
AJ.
I was running radio ads.
Yeah.
And they told me that the ads would air at this time, and this time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I scheduled for one of my dates about 15 minutes before it was supposed to air. So like a modern gentleman, I went and I picked the girl up, and we're going to a restaurant.
Fucking nerd.
And then my commercial for my business comes on the radio, and she's like, "Wait a second, is that you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I don't know, is it?"
Then you look over and you're like not even driving, you're just all pensive, just looking out the window.
He's like, "Oh my god, put your hands back from me!
We're going 70."
He's like in the median.
And I'm like, I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, it happens so often, I don't even notice anymore.
Yeah, that was quite some time ago, and radio is very expensive
Yeah.
and ineffective. So listen to podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so now that we have thoroughly shit on AJ, we're going to take this opportunity to kick him off the show so he can't defend himself, and we're going to bring our last guest on from the last episode for Lindsay's Minute. Okay, so Lindsay was on our last episode, and fucking hate you all so much. We're about to talk about suicide over here, all right? If you give us a second. So we got a lot of positive feedback from that episode, and we wanted to bring Lindsay back on to kind of follow up. And now that you've had a week or so to reflect on everything, and seen them, some of the messages that we've gotten, and some of the experiences you've had with listeners, what are your thoughts?
It was all very enlightening. I really enjoyed it. I was honestly super scared to come on and talk about it because I'm so awkward. And it's just a hard subject to talk about. I can barely talk about it to my therapist, let alone thousands and however many listen of people.
All 6.
All 6 of them. It was
5 of them are in the room.
It was rough thinking about until it actually happened. And then I'm like, okay, well, this might actually do something good. Like, fuck, maybe somebody will listen to me. And then it just it went bigger than I thought it would. I got a lot of DMs, a lot of in my requests, I never checked them.
Yeah.
And the last time I checked them, I only had like 20, mostly pretty much all spam. And then when I finally opened it like 4 days after the episode actually came out, there was like 20 or 25. I know I built it up to be a bigger number than that, but it was about 20 to 25.
I mean, put things in perspective. They're like, we're only going to put 25 penises in your butthole.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, only 25? Lucky me. Like,
you have to draw a limit somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
With the penises in the butthole. I've learned.
Yep. Co-host Mike, you hear that?
I love it so much.
There has to be a limit.
Where is that number? Co-host Mike.
So what else you got?
Well, somebody came up to me in the gym, which never ever happens.
Womp womp womp.
Yeah, woof. And probably because I have like the worst like resting bitch face ever in the gym, and I just look gross. I sweat a lot when I work out. I look like a wet dog. But luckily, this was before I worked out, so I only kind of look like a wet dog, a partially dry poodle maybe. And this guy comes up to me, and I'm like, oh fuck. And
I've been drinking way too much for this. Like, this is supposed to be serious.
And he comes up to me, and I have my headphones in, so I take him out, and I have my bitch face on because I thought he's gonna be like a smart ass about something, because common assumption. But he came up to me and he told me he's been following your meme page, the Pop Smoke meme page, for a while now. Started listening to the podcast from the
I would like to point out that's my personal Instagram. The Facebook page is the meme page, but this has like my name, my picture, my website, like.
But no pictures of you.
Yeah, it has plenty of pictures of me. I make at least 1 out of 10 of my memes are a picture of me.
Oh.
Like, you can go back and
It's
count
hard to
that.
tell.
And then all my pictures are my highlights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know.
Anyway, the point is he follows you, and he said he started listening to the podcast, and he was super inspired and impressed that we talked about veteran suicide, because it's not really talked about enough in the whole military universe or even the real world.
I feel like sometimes it's talked about too much, but in the wrong way.
Yeah, I think
I'm very proud of the way that yourself and co-host Mike orchestrated that episode, because I feel that it was done in a very professional yet relatable manner.
Yes, I thought so. I was just being honest and felt like there was times when people aren't honest enough about the subject.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, we're all just people. We all experience high emotions and low emotions, and we're all susceptible. And not every one of us can be on all the time. You know, we all have moments where we feel like we're carrying burdens, and then, you know, people want to add to those burdens. But when we have a moment like this where we have the opportunity to serve our community, and, you know, the people that we can relate to, and the people who look to us for entertainment, you know, it's an honor, and it's humbling.
He liked that too, that we were joking before and being like total perverts. Got serious, and then we just kind of like eased back into the weirdness.
Yeah.
And he was really inspired. He really enjoyed it, and I could tell he was like, you know, one of those like shy, awkward people. So he was like talking really fast and stuttering when he said it.
So did you smash?
Is that even a question? Of course I did. This fucking guy. And yeah, and he agreed.
Boom,
about
roasted.
He agreed about the whole armband thing we were talking about too.
Oh yeah.
He was like, yeah, I've seen guys with like stacks of it, and then you ask people about them, and you're like, oh, how'd you meet that guy? Oh, I saw him in the bathroom once, and then I followed him on Instagram, and saw he fucking killed himself. I'm like,
Oh damn.
okay, well.
Yeah, because we got Memorial Day coming up, and I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of fucking reason to kill myself coming up on this weekend, and I think that's why I'm like trying to surround myself with important people, because I wanted to. How dare you? I wanted to have like a contest with everybody else in the room to see who could make like the most emo like Memorial Day post. You know what I mean? I was thinking about just like a picture of like dog tags in my hands and be like, you know, if you can't reach me this weekend, it's because I'm reflecting. And it's like my own dog tags or something, you know, like something like incredibly emo, you know what I mean? Because there's people that they, you know, they obviously take this time of year very seriously. But if I would like to put one thing out there to the listeners is don't wait till somebody is dead to treat them well. Far too often are we bad to each other as we're living, but then in death you want to act like you would do anything for this person. But when that person was living, you treated them like dog shit. And so don't wait till somebody is gone to honor that person. And there should be a base level of respect that we all have for human beings, because at the end of the day, none of us are going to make it out of this alive. You know, we all poop in a toilet, unless you're EP Mike, and it's outside. I mean, I had to enforce that rule. I mean, just really smelly. But the fact of the matter is that we're all just people. It doesn't matter, like, how insta-famous you are or whatever, or how much money you have, or, you know, how many sleuths you bang. Like...
I'm not on camera. Not getting paid.
You know, we're all just people, and so like Lindsay said last episode, you know, however you grieve is up to you, but you know, like just try to have some dignity.
And be healthy about it.
Yeah, be healthy about it, because it would be like super fucking shitty of me if I was just like, oh yeah, these are all my dead friends, like feel bad about that because like we're still alive and they're not, you know, and just be a douchebag about it. Because I've tried to do it every way. Like one year I posted pictures of everybody's friends that they sent to me, and that shit got taxing because I got like 500 messages within like the first couple hours, and I read all of them at some point in time, and I had to hear all these people's stories about who they were, how they lived, how they died, and I was fucking killing myself right then and there, you know. And it was just terrible. So what do you have for us in your notes that will convince me not to kill myself this weekend?
Oh, I have a lot.
No pressure.
For one thing, tomorrow, not sure if this is going to get out in time, but there's the N22. It's a veteran suicide awareness group kind of thing. They're having a festival in Portsmouth, Virginia, which is like the butthole of Virginia, honestly. But they're making it great. They're making Portsmouth great again. And they're having an all-wheels, so I guess not just motorcycles. You can bring your Batmobile or whatever. And they're going to do a ride.
Razor scooter? Can I bring my Razor scooter?
Yeah, finally you have a use for that thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Besides looking cool and shredding at the skate park.
Yeah, looking cool. Anyway.
Hey, you're on my show. I'm tired of being disrespected.
Get used to it, pal. Yeah, and they're going to have a ride starting at 10 a.m. So if you're riding around in the Hampton Roads area and you see a bunch of badass motherfuckers on their Batmobiles or motorcycles or whatever the fuck people ride nowadays.
Yeah, and if you're not in the area, look for events in your area.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you may not be here, but there might be something going on that you only find out because you look on Facebook or Google.
So there's the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and it's obviously all over America. And they have chapters in each individual state. So, of course, there's one for Virginia. There's going to be one for, like, California or South Dakota if people still live there. And they run... Their main event is Out of the Darkness walks.
Okay.
So it's like what it fucking sounds like. It's a walk or a run or however you want to express yourself just to bring
Interpretive
awareness.
dance.
Yes. Interpretive dance.
Can I walk like an Egyptian?
Yikes. Sure, why not?
Oh, wow. She could go one episode, now she's too cool to joke.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they do. What I did recently and what I would encourage other people to do is if you're looking for a volunteer time, you can apply to be a victim advocate. So basically what it sounds like, you're going to be there for someone who was a victim of an attempt or families of someone who passed from suicide. You're just kind of like their right-hand man, their wingman, and all that.
Yeah.
It's a great program.
Because you're my brother and the only family I can count on.
Yeah.
Boom. What else you got?
So my my lovely therapist is always throwing like these bullshit little suggestions on how I can improve my life. Which, to be fair, some of them are good, but, you know...
And that's literally what they're being paid to do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know if you saw my post about how she said I, like, spilled my heart out to her, which is hard for anyone, and then she was like, well, you look skinny. Here's some protein powder. Deuce out.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fun. But anyway...
Wow, at least when you poured your heart out on here, like, where we took you to a festival afterwards.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, we got to pet baby cows and throw axes. It was pretty dope.
God, that baby fucking cow.
That's so adorable, right?
I wonder what Five Guys burger that little baby cow's in now.
Either way, it's going to be delicious.
I think about that every single day since
Oh,
we
yeah?
saw him. Yeah. So speaking of, like, fucking depression, PTSD Coach. It's an app. I thought it was just someone, because, you know, like, the apps for, like, DOD and the military, they're all dry. There's not a lot of content to them.
Well, actually, the VA came out with one not too long ago. It's kind of like a Zen wellness app, and it's actually not bad.
Yeah, they said something about that in my TAPS class this week.
Yeah, it's actually not bad. Because you're amazing, and you don't need other people to justify that, is the notes that I'm getting.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But... the PTSD Coach app actually I found to be a little beneficial. I just started using it. They track your symptoms of PTSD. So let's say I tracked them today and I was like extreme on everything. It would record that, and then I go a month later, work on myself in that month, and then I go back and it'll track like the difference. So like, let's say I'm super shitty right now and I'm less shitty later. Like, okay, that's a pattern that shows I'm getting better. Or if I'm still fucking shitty, it shows me that nothing's changing and I need to do something to change myself.
Yeah, that's important because all the resources in the world mean nothing if you don't have the will to act upon them.
Right. And if you enter in like a distress level, so let's say one of my symptoms is irritability, it rates your irritability. So let's say I rate it out of 10, and as soon as I put in that it's a 10, it comes up instantly with, it looks like you're facing a difficult time right now. Do you want to talk to someone? And it has a button where you click the button basically, and it goes directly to like the Veterans Crisis Line.
Oh shit.
Or if you don't want to talk to anyone on the phone because you're like me and you hate that shit.
That's why she never answers my calls.
Yeah, exactly. That's why. And
I'm like literally gun trembling in my hand. I need somebody to talk, and she's like, "New phone, who dis?"
Pretty much, you know. Sorry, I suck. And then if you don't want to talk to anyone, you can press the tools button, and it'll give you like wellness exercises, basically. Like, hey, you need to take a quick breather. So it's actually a pretty good app. I hate that I didn't give it a chance anytime sooner, but.
All right. So, do we have anything else to cover?
Nah.
Okay. So how you feeling since then? I know that was a lot to open up and talk about. Because I'm feeling fine. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I did ask you. And, you know, I'm just feeling, like I told you, I'm feeling super hungry. I want to do more. I want to see what else I can do to
The protein powder didn't say that?
No, believe it or not.
Okay.
The shitty little protein
But like
powder.
emotionally hungry is what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm emotionally hungry.
Do you feel like if you could inspire other people to maybe help awaken that sort of hunger to help other people, like what would you say?
I would say go for it. I mean,
I would say go fuck yourself, San Diego.
yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
That's actually what I was gonna say, but
Yeah.
like,
I've had this thing with AJ that he's whatever he writes on this little app that he has on his tablet, I've literally been required to say. So some of those lines seem misplaced.
I wish I had known that before we started recording. I have so much shit for you. So much.
So how do you awaken this fire in other people?
Honestly, I feel like if I post about it, that's all I really feel like I can do in the present time to where it'll reach enough people is posting about it. Harassing people with, hey, for example, there's an Out of the Darkness walk coming up.
Yeah.
Who wants to go with me? And,
Okay.
it gives me an opportunity to actually make friends and other people the opportunity to help themselves.
Right on. Yeah, because I started putting my message out there and nobody would listen, so I had to get a honeypot. And the next thing I know, 100,000 downloads, 55 countries.
Wow.
Oh, look how cute he is.
Just
He's
chilling
such a
on the
good boy.
floor, jacking off.
The best boy.
casually.
Can we just share a shot of that later for ratings?
Yeah.
Because we were actually talking about during the break that we're going to start a Pornhub channel for co-host Mike, the ASMR, which I don't know how much of that means ass to mouth, but either way, it'll be a good time. Very excited.
Me too.
Okay, so Lindsay, if you have any final thoughts, and we'll go ahead and round the segment up.
I'm going to say it again. 22 a day is 22 way too many.
What number do you feel like is a reasonable amount? Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, there are going to be people who kill themselves, right? There's not going to be one silver bullet, 100% solution. Like, if we're like, all right, we got this number lowered down to this number, like, it sucks. We'd prefer it to be 0, but this is better than where we were. Like, what number are we talking about?
I would say 15.
15? Because I think the last metrics that I read said that we were, that's depending on what source you look at, 22 a day is subjective, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think at a point it's become more symbolic than factual, because it's not constant. It's not like an assembly line. Like, some months you might have more, some months you might have less.
Well, I feel like this last month has been like particularly hard for the Navy.
Yeah, it's been real rough.
It's been more public than it normally is.
Well, even if we don't get down to 0, we shouldn't stop until we're at 0.
I absolutely agree with that. I love that. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Here to serve and protect. Thank you.
Ooh. All right, so to all our listeners, I absolutely apologize for the shit show this episode has been.
This probably is my favorite episode ever.
From start to finish, just
Start to finish. Just,
absolute shit show.
just a barrel of
Terrible.
laughs. Yeah.
We covered so many things, and yet we didn't.
And we've had a lot of people say that, like, and it kind of offends me a little bit, because, like, if you don't want to learn, like,
To this day, that's my favorite review we've ever gotten.
Yeah.
If you want to laugh a lot and learn nothing, listen to the Smoke Pit.
Well,
That makes me so happy.
How do you get to season 3 if you didn't cover if you covered everything in season 2?
Exactly. Yeah.
that's fair. So, just to round it out, at the end of the day, we do this episode because we feel like we do have something worth listening to. And that's not to say that we're any better or any different than anyone, because I kind of feel like what the difference between this episode or this podcast and a couple other podcasts out there is that, like, we don't want to be on a platform just for the sake of being on a platform.
Sure.
Like, we're all kind of cocky and arrogant a little bit to the, just because that's who, we are as veterans, that confidence that comes out. But please never mistake that for the fact that, we don't want, that we're going to willfully, like, try to ignore the fact that we have a responsibility to take this in a direction.
100%.
We don't know what
100%.
direction that is.
Yeah. As soon as we know, we'll let you know.
Yeah, because EP Mike's at the helm.
Yeah.
And we hit 3 icebergs.
I feel that
I don't have enough time for your long-winded speech.
No,
All right.
real quick. I feel like this is episodes like this one humanize us and make us less like some monolithic thing, which makes us easier to relate to.
Sure. I can accept
Right, we
that.
can relate.
No, I can
Everybody
accept
makes
that. Yeah,
boot
yeah.
mistakes, and everybody
Sure.
does dumb shit.
Everybody
once
gets
in a
their mouth farted in,
Yeah.
while. You know, it happens. Not everybody, but
Not everybody.
eventually,
Sure. I mean, that is a thing. Yeah.
on a long enough time curve, everyone will
At
eventually.
least everybody knows a guy.
No,
you know?
sure.
Right.
Well, I mean, now people
Now
listen
they
to this,
do.
they do. Yeah, for
But
sure.
but
yeah.
they can see us as human instead of seeing us as
As Greek gods, I know. It's
Yeah,
rough.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't work on these abs in the Taco Bell for so long for nothing.
You look really good, though.
And so and our timer's about to go off because I said AJ was too goddamn long-winded. But if you are in the area, in the Hampton Roads area, come have a beer with us. We have met up with so many people, and a lot of people are like, "Hey, look, I don't feel comfortable like being shot on the story. Like, let's just keep this low key," which is perfectly fine with me. Because I'd rather have that than the people like, "Oh, you're not going to share me out," and I'm like,
right, 100%, yeah.
like, dude, we're just fucking jerking each other off,
Exactly.
like in a truck stop bathroom.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know your name, bro.
I don't even know your name.
Don't look in my eyes while we do this.
Hey, what, you want me to put me on this on my story?
Exactly.
Like, let my family know who I really am? Bye.
Bye.